One of the constant series of questions that gets asked from viewers to our show is that of the potential of crossing over characters from Marvel's Avengers universe with Fox's X-Men universe and Sony's Spider-Man universe. Well, Wolverine himself, Hugh Jackman, has weighed into the discussion when he was recently asked if he thought there could ever be a major crossover film. Jackman said the following: "I literally asked the same question the other day to Tom from Marvel, who works with all the other studios. He works with Sony and Fox. That's his job, to be the liaison. I said, man, can this happen? And he goes, look, it's not going to be easy because you're working with different studios and their properties. But I believe maybe it's optimistic. I understand at Marvel they've got the Avengers, they've got a lot of other big things going on. But at some point, I just find it almost impossible that there's not a way to bring Iron Man, all the Avengers characters, Wolverine, the X-Men characters, Spider-Man, and somehow get them all together. I'm like, okay, you've got 3 studios, just split it 3 ways in terms of the cost, and happy days, it's all coming together. I would love to. I'm in for it. I'm totally up for it because I think that it would be really exciting for fans across the board. John, is Hugh onto something?
Oh, Hugh's on something. I don't know if he's onto anything, but he's definitely on something. Okay, first thing, let me preface this. Hugh Jackman is not only an amazing guy and a wonderful talent, he's a master politician when it comes to knowing how to say what his fans want to hear. But let's really look at what he said. Is Hugh Jackman onto something? No. Tom, who he refers to from Marvel, is onto something, saying, no, this can't happen. And here's what, look, this idea of, hey, studios, yeah, just get the studios, split the cost 3 ways, and everybody's happy. Whee! Really? Really? You think Marvel's going to be okay with splitting the cost 3 ways with Sony, who's got 1 character in it? They got Spider-Man. We're bringing Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Ant-Man, Giant Man, Toilet Man, whoever else. We're going to bring 50 characters to the table. You think we're going to split the cost 3 ways with Sony, who has 1 character? Then how do you split the profits? How do you split the profit? You think Fox is going to go, yeah, we'll split the profits 3 ways. We got all the X-Men, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, the Fantastic Four. And Sony brought Spider-Man. And we're going to split it evenly with them. Then, how do you make this movie? I've made this argument before. How do you make this movie? You think Sony, for 1 second, is going to approve a script that has Spider-Man not being the main guy in any scene? You think that Fox, for 1 second, is going to approve a script where, wait a minute, in this scene, it looks like Captain America has more authority than Wolverine does. You think they're going to approve that script? No. Now, here's where the hypocrisy of us as film fans, and let's face it, as film fans, I'm not saying we're all raging not heretics, hypocrites, but as film fans, we're raging hypocrites, because here's where the hypocrisy comes in. We say, I got a lot of emails from a lot of people saying, Sony should just let Marvel have Spider-Man, because that's what the fans want. So they should just let them have it. Really? Do you really think that way? Really? Because you know what? You got a car. And the world would be a much better place if you sold your car and gave the money to hungry people in other countries. The world would be a much better place. It's much more important than Sony letting Spider-Man be loaned out to Marvel. It's much more important. But you're not going to do that. You know why? Because that's your car. You rely on that car. You want to be protective of your property and treat it right and make sure it's taken care of and continues to serve you as you move forward. The same thing is true at the studio. Spider-Man is bread and butter to Sony. They rely on that title, and they need to protect their title. They need to protect that brand and use it the way they think is best for Spider-Man. And the problem with one of these crossover things, I've said this 1,000 times, is you're going to have Fox and Marvel and Sony all in there, all with one priority: making sure their characters are best represented. And they're never going to agree. They'll never get along with this. No way, no how. Plus, then, say Sony lets Spider-Man be in a Marvel film. Well, now that's part of their continuity. Now, whenever they make a Spider-Man film, they got to reference the Avengers. And if the Avengers have New York blow up, well, now in the Spider-Man film, their New York has to be blown up. I mean, there's just so many snares and traps along this way that makes this such an impossibility. Look, we would all like to see it. Sure, I want to see it. But it's not going to happen. And I understand why it's not going to, because I'll tell you what, right now, if I was Fox, if I was the guy running Fox, no matter how big of a fanboy I am, No way am I letting Marvel use any of my characters. Not a chance in hell am I letting that happen, because I need to protect my properties. I need to nurture my properties. So look, Hugh is saying exactly what his fans want to hear, especially with Wolverine coming out next week. That is what he should be saying. But he's a smart guy, and he knows this could never happen. His buddy Tom from Marvel knows that this could never happen. We as fans need to accept that this can never happen, and for good reason. So until someday when Sony actually sells the rights to Spider-Man, or Fox decides we're just going to get out of the comic book business altogether, which why would they? Because it prints them money. But until that day happens, this just can't happen no matter what Hugh Jackman says, who's not in a position to make any decisions. But anyway, I've rambled on about this quite a bit. Dennis, when you see a guy like Hugh Jackman making statements like this, do you think that changes the game at all?
No. I mean, like you said, for the many reasons you said, it's never going to happen. And also, for Hugh Jackman, yeah, he's saying this. He's drumming up some excitement so people go see Wolverine and stuff. This guy's like half his foot's out the door and playing the Wolverine character.
Yes.
So why does he care? He's just saying that to get people excited.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. He's a great guy, but he's just playing it up.
Yeah,
So.
he's a great communicator.
Yes.
Clearly a great communicator.
If you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free, and we bring you all the latest movie news as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, where you can find out about all the latest prizes, giveaways, and special contests.